Thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you very much for the invitation. It's great to be here in Delphi together with you and to discuss agriculture both in Israel, Greece and the Netherlands. If you ask me about the successes of the Dutch agriculture, the first thing that I would like to point out is the fact that we have had cooperation and trust between the farmers, the food industry, government and the communities of science and universities. We call that the polder. A polder is an area that needs water management, and in order to keep dry feed in the Netherlands, we are, at sea level actually, we all had to cooperate. So farming is very much linked to cooperation and trust. We've also very much been helped by the fact that we have always had open markets. We have always been scrutinized by competition, because more competition leads to more innovation. In certain economic crises, especially the agricultural crisis already 100 years ago, the reaction in some European states was to close off the borders and to protect the agricultural production by tariffs and other obstacles to trade. The Dutch have always emphasized that we need trade in order to get better. And I think that it was the Dutch commissioner in the European commissioners, Sikkel Mansholt, that created also the common agricultural policy. And that was also the basis for the single market that we have in the European Union. The third element that I would like to highlight, and that's very similar to what Professor Ayal Kimi just said, is that we very much endorsed and tried to enhance scientific education at all levels, not only for top-end state-of-the-art scientific research, but also for simple vocational training for farmers, whatever sector they were in. That has always been of pivotal importance to really get the right people, to train them well, but also to see how the science can then be applied also in the food industry, in the food processing industry. So that's the third element that I would like to mention. A fifth element is about vision. A point on the horizon, the necessity, as the professor was just saying in the example of Israel. If you ask me also to look forward, not only to look back what brought us success in the past, but what is essential for success in the future, I think it's a new balance that we have to find between agriculture and nature, between our sincere worries about climate change, loss of biodiversity on the one hand, and on the other hand, the need to produce more for the world in 2050 when we have 10 billion people. So we have to find that new balance, and we are really trying to do everything we can to find policies that are conducive for that new balance. In the wider global framework, we have to look at the Sustainable Development Goals, but also at a national level, regional level, we have to see how we can balance that out. It's about the way we produce, how we treat our land and our water and other resources, but it's also very much about the way we consume. And we should bring into this equilibrium not only the focus on the production and agriculture, but also on the consumption side and on food that we produce. Because we are facing more and more health problems for our aging population. We're getting more obese, or to put it bluntly, we're getting fat. We're eating too much fat, we're eating too much sugar, too much salt. And that also has to be taken into account into our modern societies. So we need to look into that as well. And thirdly, we need to look into new ways for our farmers to produce in an economic sustainable way. The Netherlands, after the Second World War, had about 500,000 people living from the land, were farmers. 25 years ago, it was reduced to 120,000 farmers. Now we have less than 60,000 farmers. So employment has gone down enormously. But the economic importance of agriculture and everything related to food has been as strong as ever. So we need to think about what is needed to reinforce our rural areas. What can we do to make the generational shift between the aging population on the farms towards the youngsters that want to come in more easily? And here again, reforms in a European perspective have also to become conducive. They have to enhance that trend. But in the end, I would like to say it's very much about the farmers themselves, about the way they can organize themselves. These farmers, they are the entrepreneurs. They have to see a future for themselves in order to be willing to make those investments. Civil servants and politicians, we have to be humble. We have to not only tell them what to do, but we have to create an environment in which they will do automatically what is logically from a farm's perspective. Try to think from a perspective of the farmer. It's the farmer that really counts. We have to create a business environment that really helps them. Trust your farmers. Build on trust and cooperation. That's the best message I can give from the Netherlands to Greece. Thank you.